It is 11:36 p.m. It is 12. I don't know why I said it like that. P.m. My name is John. P.m. I don't know why I said it like that. Anyway, it was kind of funny. P.m. You know what I'm saying? Like really, people exaggerate. Now it's 11. Now it's 11:37. Anyway, annoying intro. Anyway, it's 11:37 p.m. p.m. and it is the 12th of February 2016. Friday. Anyway, still 11:37 p.m. Anyway, alright, gotta let that go. Maybe transphobic, but, and I know usually when people, whenever they say, here's the line, right? Whenever people say lines like this, and like what I just said, it may be transphobic, but, dot, 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 and they usually say something that is, quote, I'm different from you. Whoever the hell you are watching this, you're different from me. So we have different views. If I feel something's right, you feel it's wrong. What I'm saying, who's to say what's really right in that situation? Because, it depends on who you are, your perception of things. So, it may be transphobic, but, and now here it comes. Kind of like when someone says, I don't mean to sound racist here, but I don't mean to sound homophobic, but, I'm saying? I don't mean to sound, whatever, but, I'm saying like a jackass, but, misogynistic, or I don't mean to sound like a feminist, but, I'm saying? Anyway, you get it. Usually they say something that sounds quote unquote, again, whoever you are, what you deem as being this or that. Usually after they say the but, there comes some kind of when they say they're not going to be racist, it comes off as racist anyway. So here it comes, since it's already expected. I don't mean to be transphobic, but, I would like to think of myself as not being that. It'd be pretty awkward if, considering I am trans and everything like that. But anyway, um, there was a dude. I went to an event actually. Oh, sorry. I went to an event this a couple of days ago. Anyway, it was like another queer event at a center nearby where I live. And anyway, we were basically like a first discussion there. There was just like a new opening for the center, so they're really happy and proud. It was like another queer center or whatever around closer to where I live. Anyway, they're all happy, and it's like this meeting. Anyway, so I'm there in the room with all like these other people. Not many showed up. There was this one person. It's like in this big house. It's like where the center is located. It's a new program and everything. They just open it up and they're really happy, and I'm happy. I'm saying, giving people good safe spaces or whatever. Why not? Anyway, it's the first meeting. I get in the room, and then this other person comes in. Appeared to be somewhat a man. Appear to be, or again, what you define as being a man or not. Just, and because I have these rigid systems in my mind of what a man looks like, what a man sounds like, this and this and this. Like I said, that's why I say they appear to be a man. I only think that way initially because, like I said, drop of a dime, there are these still initial systems I have in my head of how I've always grown up seeing things and what I was told, deceived, brainwashed into thinking, I was deceived and whatever. Girls have long hair, guys have short hair, or guys have beards and girls don't, and this and this and this, and you know what I'm saying, and guys do this and boys do this, and girls don't act like this and boys do act like this, you know what I'm saying? Anyway, you know what I'm saying? If you have a penis, you're a boy. If you have a vagina, you're a girl. And, girls like boys, and boys like girls and girls like boys and all that other crap. And anyway, you know what I'm saying? Of course, there's, like I said, you give me a topic and I can think of it in like 50 different ways. So even with what I just said, few things, those rigid systems, like the explanations and examples, there's a part of me, even when I was saying them, that was actually in somewhat of an agreement with those things, because lately my mind's been running on a different track. I've been starting to see and just come to terms and think of in my own way, how men should behave and how women should behave, like the roles of men and women and how it should be, quote, should, you know what I'm saying? So a bit more, I'd say, like of a more biased view, but I mean, whatever. It's just a different way of thinking versus how I used to think on another level. You know what I'm saying? So, whatever it may be, let me just get into the bulk of it. What happens? Yeah, so I saw someone who looked somewhat of a man. They're really, really short. Really, really short. Maybe someone's like, so, you're short. Okay, yes. I bitch all the time about how short I am. But when I say they're short, like, they were, come on now. Oh, too short to the point where you can just tell, okay, you're a little bit funny looking to be a guy. And then, they had really tiny hands, and they had really slim legs, really slim, not very built, so really, really short, they're really slim. And to make it even worse, you know what I'm saying, like, how people say that phrase, dress your size? Some chicks, or even some guys, they wear things that are just too small. Shirts that don't fit at all, clothes that don't fit at all. I get it, it's your life, makes you happy, do you. I guess if it doesn't really, really, like, harm me or, make me, like, like, stop breathing or something, I'm saying? Like, I'll keep breathing and you can keep doing what you're doing. I'm saying, hey, your pleasure's your pleasure in life, whatever it may be. But I'm just saying, to make it worse, they were wearing skinny jeans, like really skinny jeans. So their legs look even like these skinny little twigs. And, they're wearing like a slim denim jacket, a slim shirt. They were really, really, really short. I can't stress it enough. Like 4 inches, like maybe 4'7" or something like that. Just, yeah. Their voice was somewhat, like it sounded kind of effeminate, but it still sounded kind of low, too. Just, and see, yeah, this is the thing. Like, I don't mean to sound transphobic, but and here it is. Like, I hate to judge as someone who is trans because I can see obviously that they're a trans guy, obviously. And then later on in the meeting, yeah, they went on to talking about how they're a trans guy, and I'm like, in my head, I was thinking, really? Like, no figure, like, no kidding. Well, I couldn't tell that, you know what I'm saying? And it got me thinking, like, and again, of course, I don't want to think that way. I don't want to base on looks because, ironically, I wouldn't want someone to do that with me and be able to call it out, oh, you're a trans guy. And to be honest, I feel like most people today would just be like, oh, well, you're a tranny, aren't you? You know what I'm saying? You just gotta be real. Most general people. And somewhat, I get it. This isn't their world. They're not involved in things like this. They're not influenced by things like this, or these things don't drive them, don't motivate them, or, you know what I'm saying? This isn't their world. They're a part of their hetero, cisgender, crap. And I'm a part of my world. You know what I'm saying? So, I mean, I have the hetero thing right, somewhat. You know what I'm saying? So, I'm not attracted to males, like, sexually or romantically. So, when I said somewhat, I didn't mean, like, the slightest bit I like guys. No, that's not what I meant. I know what I meant, but I'm not going to speak on that right now. Anyway, I just know I hate to judge them like that, because I wouldn't want people to do the same with me or have, slight if I wouldn't want them to be like, oh, well, you look a bit effeminate, or, are you, like, one of those trans people, or what's going on? Like, are you really, like, a woman, like, really butch woman? And to be honest, I don't think most general people would actually say that anyway. You know what I'm saying? Because they're so confused already about what they're seeing. Most of them. It's kind of like me, you know. So how can you say something when you don't really know that much about it, so you just keep your mouth shut? Plus, my mom taught me, you don't point, you don't stare at people. There are certain things you just don't say. Modesty, if you will. Generosity. Courtesy. Synonyms such as that. And anyway, so, I don't think most general people would say that, but they certainly think it. And so you can pick up when people are confused about you, or when they're kind of, just gestures, like body language. You can tell that when people aren't as warm with you, like aren't as comfortable with you, when they're like kind of confused, or when they're dissing you, so to speak. I keep doing like, but really, like, you can tell, you know what I'm saying? Someone out there, they're nodding their head. They know what I'm talking about. You can tell. Anyway, you can tell when they're a bit thrown off by you. And they're trying to distance themselves from you. And that's cool, like I said, whatever they want to do, that's their pleasure, you know what I'm saying? Whatever your reason may be for distancing yourself from me, hey, have at it, because I'm still me, and I'm still maneuvering the world as I do. You know what I'm saying? Have at it. Your pleasure's your pleasure. But it's just like the same way how I could just initially tell. And I know it's got to be because the guy was so short already. And I don't know if I said this later on, he did, like later on in the meeting, he did end up saying, yeah, I'm trans and all this stuff. And like I said, I was thinking, really? I can tell. Of course, like sarcastically, because I could, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's kind of obvious, like you look kind of funny, like you're, as a guy. And that's not even a way to say like you're ugly. No, because someone, okay, define ugly again. Because I'm going to have my way and you're going to have your way. Ugly, less attractive, however you want to say it, you know what I'm saying? I mean, ugly works too. I mean, again, however you want to chop it up or whatever. I don't mean like they weren't decent looking. It's just the fact they look funny looking as a guy because they were just so small. You see what I'm saying? And just so slim and basically effeminate. And they sounded even effeminate. Like the voice was dropped a little bit, but they still had like this effeminate way of talking. It got me thinking. It's not even really about them, you see? It's really about me. You know? What's it called? I guess I'm just so egocentric. But then again, if you don't want to hear about me, well then you can go ahead and click off. That's kind of the point of doing this right now. Hello, I'm talking about me. I'm getting out things about me and what I think and how it affects me as a person, as a trans person, as a black person, as a 5'3" person, whatever. See, it got me to thinking, what if someday that's me? Like, what if, like, okay, I finally get on T and I have like a beard and I'm somewhat like a masculine or like like emasculated, right? No. Okay, that's the wrong word. Excuse me. I'm somewhat masculine. You know what I'm saying? Like, I somewhat pass or whatever. But, like, you know, I think I'm doing so well at passing. Like, I think I serve, like, such a great purpose in the world with masculinity as far as outer representation. And the same thing like that guy. I mean, I know he knows that he's short. I know that he knows that he's pretty slim or whatever. And I know there's a certain point where maybe he was feeling good. He was like, yeah, I'm finally on T. T's working for me. He's going to do all these things for me. And then over time, he had to basically accept what, you know, what was going to happen, what wasn't going to happen for him as far as being on T. And I know that's what I hear a lot of guys say. They say that they expect to have like facial hair at a certain point and they just don't get it. Some guys don't expect to go bald and then they end up going bald. Some guys expect to have like the deepest voice and their voice only drops a little bit. But then maybe they get like another boost or like another perk they wouldn't have expected. You know what I'm saying? So I'm just saying, I know that guy he's had to have gone through that period with himself of probably having to face up to the music, like face the music. And he had to get to a point where he said to himself, okay, so this and this hasn't happened yet for me, or it hasn't happened at all. It probably won't. And you know what? I'm okay with that. I'm going to love myself anyway. But you see, I don't know, like, so I'm not as short as him, so that's one perk, you know? I was, like, way taller than that guy. And I know I'm definitely not as slim as him. And I wouldn't let myself be that slim. You know what I'm saying? I mean, I'm working out. Like, I work out currently, you know what I'm saying? Because I don't want to be this really slim guy. I want to have some muscle to me. I want to have some mass, you know? And I can actually say why that is, like, in another video, like how I want my representation as far as like my build, like the mass of my body to be and what I want it to represent because I'm so short, and why, you know, all those reasons. But it's like, what if someday that's me? You know what I'm saying? What if someday I'm like that guy, like not really taken seriously that much as a man? You know what I'm saying? Like at the drop of a dime, like so initially, because it's just so obvious. It was so obvious. You know what I'm saying? Like even if it's not that, oh, you're a trans guy, it's just so obvious that you're kind of funny looking as a guy. You know what I'm saying? Like there's something that's a little bit off, you know, with you as a guy, and it has me questioning whether you're really a guy or something else is going on. You know what I'm saying? It's like, and I know I have perks because I'm not that short and I'm not that slim. And in the future, when I am on testosterone, when I go, I'm pretty sure I'm gonna end up going on some point. But the question is when. That's the golden question. It's like, you know, like I said, the question is when, not if, because I'm sure I'm going to at least whether for life I plan on sticking on it, or I'm going to experiment and see how it is, and then maybe detransition, like go off for a little bit and maybe go on and then stop forever. I really don't know. I don't know at this point, but I know I definitely want to go for it. I just don't know when or how it's going to work out in my life, when it's going to happen. But of course, when I am on T, again, when, not if, but when, I know I'm going to bulk up and I'm going to try to do weights and everything and, put on some mass. So that's going to help me too. And there are other guys, like cis guys, like who are like 40, there are other guys who are like 30, and they're my height, so that also gives me credibility. But it's just, I kind of feel sorry for them, because, it's so rare that you find guys that are that short. Because like I said, when you're that short, you're kind of that effeminate, like his voice, it was somewhat dropped, but it wasn't convincing enough, you know what I'm saying? Like, it wasn't that well. And then he was already really slim, and then his clothing style made it worse. Like, he just really, really skinny jeans, showed off his skinny little legs, his curves of his legs, and, had like the slim fitting jacket, and he's already slim, he's not built, he's really, really, really short, you know what I'm saying? Just effeminate thing, and it's like, it scares me, because what if someday that's me, you know what I'm saying? Like, what if, I don't know. And I know he probably knows, like I said, he had to either way accept himself or love himself, like, regardless. And I know that's what I have to do. I know that's like what I'm still struggling to try to do, as I am, like I said, without T or whatever, or without this or without that prosthetic, without this STP, without this binder or whatever, you know what I'm saying? I have to love myself, and that's the struggle every day, you feel me? But it's like, I know he obviously had to get to that point too, because he knows his circumstances, he knows how short he is, and I'm pretty sure, just like with me, he knows that there are certain traits of masculinity that if you don't meet it in the world, that you're viewed as less. And he had a lot of things against him, you know what I'm saying? And I know initially he doesn't think that. He may not think that, but that's only because he's gotten over that hump. You know what I'm saying? He loves himself already. But see, it's like, in this world, it's like, sometimes it doesn't matter how much you love yourself, because there are people who just, there are disadvantages you have because of how you look, or because of how you don't. Regardless of how much respect you carry, how respectful, how much respect people have for you, or, how respectful you carry yourself, or how much love you have for yourself, you know what I'm saying? Sometimes, because of how he looked, like, he may not be able to get a job because he's not taking that seriously, because people are confused about what's going on with him, like, in other words, like, what he is, or, like, what he's not, or, you know what I'm saying? There are people who are not going to date him because of this, and this. There are opportunities he's not going to have. It's just, I know this, it's like, someday, what if that's me? You know what I'm saying? Like, I guess it's just really talking about, like, again, like, more fears and more uncertainties of T, and, like, I have, like, this high promise, this golden promise up in the air of what T is supposed to be. It's like this golden ticket. It's my ticket to really step out and be, quote, a man, or whatever, or, my ideal outward look of a man. Then again, I don't even know, like, how I'll end up looking. I don't know, or sound. But it's supposed to be like this golden ticket. It's like my ticket into being, quote, more of the man I am. You know what I'm saying? For me, not all guys. Not all guys feel that way about T. Some of them, they're good as they are. That's kind of how I have to be at this point right now. I just have to carry on as the man I am with how I look. Try to have as much, again, self-love and self-respect for myself as I can. But, T is like, I have so many expectations for how T is supposed to be, how it's supposed to work for me, and how, things are going to be for me on it. And it's just like, I guess with bringing up him, that other guy, like I said, like, at that meeting, and all the quote flaws I saw of him, just initially, it's like, what if someday that's me? You know what I'm saying? And yes, I'm talking about, like, with how people, receive me, like respond to me and are towards me, but like with myself, you know what I'm saying? Like, what if T just doesn't do certain things for me that I wanted? But it's like, ultimately, if that's how I'm supposed to look, that's how like I look as a man, like, quote, a man, you know what I'm saying? Like, outward look. It's the more masculine form of my body, then it is what it is. You know what I'm saying? Like, I know T doesn't make you grow. I've heard it can make your hands get bigger, your feet a little bit. But it's not gonna, you know what I'm saying? Like, this doesn't make me grow, or this or that, or it doesn't make women flock to me. It doesn't give me a penis. It doesn't give me the ability to, even if I were to sprout a penis, it doesn't give me the ability to be able to have and produce sperm. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? So there's still things that T doesn't do for me. Anyway, comparing that guy to my fears of, it was like a wake-up call, because like I said, I have these expectations for what T is supposed to do for me, and seeing that guy and knowing that he's on T or whatever, it's like, damn, you know what I'm saying? Like, it just still shows me that T is not like this ultimate golden gateway. There are things that I won't expect, things that I'll have to go along with, and I'll have to just still overcome, because comparing that guy, thinking of him, it just kind of scares me, like, for my future. Like, again, like, what if all that messes me someday? You know what I'm saying? I don't know. It got me thinking about myself as a trans guy, like, further along, like, years down the line, how I'll look, and, like I said, when I get on T. It's not if. The question is just when. Because, of course, it's a risk I have to take. It's something I'm excited about. It's something I want to do, but also I know it's a very big risk, but it's a risk I have to take. It is ignorant, and it is pointless. For me, in my experience, my views, as far as myself, again, my own person, as my own individual trans guy, it is pointless to be who I am. Again, I'm feeling the way I do, and this, and this about myself. Is pointless to not even take the risk. You know what I'm saying? The risk, or take the opportunity, if you will, of T. So it's not if, but the question is just when I'm gonna do it. Like, you understand? Like, I don't know. It's not this golden ticket, though. I know. However I end up looking or gaining on T, I know I'll have to work with it, and when I don't, I'll have to work with it. But seeing him just got me thinking about myself and kind of worrying about myself. You know what I'm saying? Like, damn, like, will I really be as masculine as I think I am when I walk into a room? In reality, people are still curious about, like, what, quote, I am. They'll have all these ideas floating in their head about me. And like I said, that ultimately leads to not as many women wanting to mess with me because they don't know what the hell I am or what's going on with me. Certain business partners missing out on business opportunities because they don't want to be associated with, quote, something like me. Not being hired at that job, or not, acquiring as many, business partners because, quote, they don't know what I am or what's going on. You know what I'm saying? Like, it has me thinking. Seeing him, it just had me thinking about myself. And again, just really bringing it to the table. My little quirks and the possible reality versus my expectations of T and everything. It just has me thinking. He got me thinking. It's brought me back to reality of how things could be. See what I'm saying? Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, that's about it. Just like I said, he didn't seem, obviously, he seemed, quote, like a man, like, initially, but it's only like a millisecond, but then you can just look and you can just tell there's something off. There's something a bit funny or awkward, if you will, about him. I could tell, you know what I'm saying? And of course, him being there at that specific center, that specific queer, specific hosted events, I could tell he was going to say, oh yeah, I'm trans. And of course, like I said, when he did later on in the meeting, I was like, well, that's a no-brainer. I can tell. And this is why I said it's a perk for me, because I know, well, okay, maybe a guy my height, maybe I couldn't tell he's trans, but again, that's because of the height factor, you know what I'm saying? Like, they're just common, and this isn't even like the rigid system I grew up with, but it's just, it has more to do like with my mindset of how I think about men and women today, like right now, my mindset of how I think about them and distinguish them, the roles with both of them, what they should do and what they shouldn't. Again, my own mind track, my own mindset right now. In this day and age, you know what I'm saying? It's like masculinity, males, most of them are taller, so that's why it really threw me off. But like this thing that looks somewhat of a male, but you're really, really, really short, and it's really awkward. You know what I'm saying? It looks a bit funny, you know. So maybe someone my height could perfectly pass to me, and I wouldn't think anything of it. And then, of course, an even more perk is if like you're 5'6" or 5'7". I'm saying, yeah, you'd really pass. I wouldn't think anything of you. Anyway, yeah, that's just it. He had me thinking.